Welcome back to Primetime News.
Special welcome to folks on onespotmedia.com and those of you watching on TVJ International in the Cayman Islands.
First up this evening, Cuban healthcare workers in Jamaica have been dominating the headlines. This follows the end of the medical cooperation program between the two countries.
The voices of Cubans have remained largely unheard, but this evening, for the first time, there's a focus on the people at the center.
Ramada Lyons has this special report. Discharged, Cuban healthcare workers leave Jamaica.
We felt like Jamaica will protect us. Jamaica won't do the same like the rest of the countries.
That's a Cuban doctor who works in Jamaica. I'll call her Dr. One. She worked under the Cuban medical program in two different countries, Belize and Guyana. She's now working independently in Jamaica. While she continues, hundreds of her colleagues, her fellow Cubans, cannot. A bitter pill to swallow, but at the same time, she says it didn't come as a complete surprise.
We were suspecting that will happen. Different countries who have the same program, they decide to stop. So we was expecting every time like that could happen here in Jamaica.
Over 50 years, that's how long the medical cooperation program with Cuba went on in Jamaica. Jamaica had 6 different prime ministers during that time. Over those years, Cuban healthcare workers filled key roles in the public health system. But 2026 saw an unpleasant development. The program in its current form flatlined. Close to 300 Cuban healthcare workers said goodbye to Jamaica.
I can feel what they are feeling. We Cuba, when we sign a contract, when we decide to go ahead to do something, we like finish with that correctly.
On Tuesday, March 17, 2026, I visited a facility in Kingston. Now, the Cuban healthcare workers, they were tight-lipped. They shied away from going on the record, but offered one-liners like, quote, "The uncertainty about the program is making us uneasy," end quote, and, quote, "We are scared," end quote. Now, on March 18, another who was contacted by phone declined an interview request. "I'm not going to do the interview, sorry." And then another Cuban doctor who spoke over the phone and did not give permission to be recorded expressed, quote, "We love the people, we genuinely love the job," end quote. The doctor pointed to the financial stability the program injected. Quote, "For a lot of us, when we go on exchange and come here, we do it for our family. It was very good for us. It means a lot to us. We are able to support our family back home," end quote. On Thursday, March 5, 2026, the Jamaican government announced the end of the program, citing an inability to reach agreement on key issues. These concerns centered on the alleged exploitation of Cuban healthcare workers under the existing contractual arrangement. The agreement reportedly expired in 2023 and was never renewed, though Cubans continue to operate in Jamaica. The United States has broadly labeled the program as forced labor. Foreign Affairs Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith acknowledged the concerns, but maintained they did not influence Jamaica's decision.
Clearly, they had expressed concerns about all programs and accordingly would have expressed concerns about Jamaica. You would have heard us defending the program in various contexts because when they come here, we do our very best to be respectful and ensure that our treatment of them accords with the laws of Jamaica and best international labor law practice. Where the program came into conflict with those things, unfortunately we were unable to reach agreement on correcting them, and that is why the program has ended.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness back in March 2025.
The Cuban doctors in Jamaica have been incredibly helpful to us. Jamaica has a deficit in health personnel, primarily because many of our health personnel have migrated to other countries. We are, however, very careful not to exploit the Cuban doctors who are here.
Now the end means the healthcare workers on call across the island will decrease. The Southeast Regional Health Authority had 97 Cuban healthcare workers, the Western Regional Health Authority 50, the Southern Regional Health Authority 33. Dr. Wan believes Jamaica should not be losing dedicated workers.
The population of Jamaica needs doctors. They need more doctors. There are few doctors working and there are many patients. Most of them comes to the doctors in very critical condition, very ill.
Her heartfelt message to her colleagues and fellow Cubans.
Thank you so much for represent our country how they did. They are the face of Cuba here in Jamaica.
Tomorrow we hear from another Cuban doctor, one who is a Jamaican citizen. Romarda Lyons, TVJ News.